All right, whenever you're ready.
Alright. So imagine doing a project. Let's say you are an artist and you are very passionate about being an artist and you had this project and which is fine and then okay, so imagine you're an artist and you're doing this project. And then which is fine, they tell you that you're a development artist, you're a young artist, you're gonna come up. And then so all you can do is work on your project, gain skills, and then one day you can maybe become a famous artist or a pro artist. Then which is okay, but then what if they say everybody else that's working with you on your art project is making money off of it, but not you. Everyone else that you talk to, anyone that you deal with makes money, but not you. Today I'm going to talk about one of the most, in my opinion, corrupt, unfair, controversial topics in the US today involving sports. The topic I chose to talk about is, should college players be paid? When I first chose this topic, I already knew of it because I've been following it on social media, on the news, famous athletes or whatever. But come to find out, some of the numbers were even surprising to me. And according to the article, College Sports Sham in 2000, according to the article, College Sports Sham in 2016, the NCAA brought in $1 billion in revenue just involving sports. The highest paid coach today is paid $8.3 million. Even the ESPN has a contract with the NCAA for $7.3 billion to broadcast the NCAA and their players. But not the players. They can't make a single dime off the names. Which brings me to my first point. Why exactly college players can't be paid? According to the NCAA, college players aren't being paid because they're amateurs. All athletes, when they first come into the NCAA, they're D1 and up. They're considered amateurs and they're under contracts. And these contracts, according to the article, Reclaiming Students Athletes' Rights to Their Names, Image, and Likeness, when a student athlete signs this contract, they sign over their rights for the NCAA to use their names, pictures, and pictures to generally promote the NCAA championships, events, and programs. But the players are forbidden to use their names for any commercial or personal uses. And going back to the contract thing, if you don't know what NEAL means, that's just what I just said. It means names, likeness, and image. That's what NEAL means. Going back to the contract, so when a player signs a contract, first of all, the contract is like this thick, and it's full with rules and regulations of what a player can and can't do. So I was reading this one article where this student, he was basically at a tournament game, and then after the tournament game, he was going to see his mother or grandmother after the game, but he was at the airport and he was hungry, so the coach bought him something to eat. But come to find out, when the NCAA found out, they suspended the player actually and told the coach he couldn't do that anymore because unless you do it to all players, that's strictly forbidden. So I don't think that's fair, and I don't think that should be allowed for the NCAA to do that, and it's just not right. So players aren't paid, but they are paid with scholarships, and any scholarships, they get to go to school for free, and they are basically paid through education and the promise of one day becoming an NBA pro. But many pro athletes today say that that's not true. According to Richard Sherman, he's an NFL player, speaks out on a controversial topic in an interview, and he basically talks about how students, he likes to see how an athletic student compares to a regular student. And according to him, an athlete student can has to take time out of his day to go to practice, games, and missing classes, and a regular student can do all of that and not have to worry about practice or any of that. And according to a study done by CBS, a study on the Pac-12 league, that's just the league in the college association, they did a study on 409 athletes. And of those 409 athletes, 54% say they don't have enough time to study, and 80% of those students say they missed the class. Okay, so players aren't paid. Players aren't paid, and they can't get names off their name, likeness, and or any of that. Which is my next point. The future of how players are paid. How players? Oh no, I'm sorry. This is a story on the North Carolina, done in North Carolina. I don't know if you guys heard of it, but so basically what happened was this school was trying to think of the word. This school was committed of academic fraud. The school is committed of academic fraud because they put their athletic students into paper classes. So what would happen was students would have to go to class, they would just go to practice and games, and then they would just be put in these classes where they would learn. I was watching this video where they would learn Swahili, and then none of them knew how to speak Swahili. They were just taking a class, and they did this for up to 18 years. Students received false grades, so if you were failing a class during the beginning of the year, when it comes playing time, they would boost your grades with these paper classes so they can boost your grades up. Now, next point is my second point, is the future of how players are actually should get paid, in my opinion. So in California, they passed a bill, the Fair Play Act, making it illegal to revoke an athlete scholarship if they want to make money off of their names, likeness, the NIL. The colleges themselves don't pay the players. What they would do is the student would have to go find an agent, and the agent would go look for money for them to make elsewhere using their name or whatever. And LeBron, he was a big help in passing this bill. I don't know if you guys seen the show, but it's pretty good. So in this show, he passed he signed like this. It wasn't nothing. It was more symbolic. But him and the mayor signed something that would pass this bill. And Ed O'Brien, he deserves like his own slideshow, but he was like a real big part of this too, because he was a D1 athlete as well back in the day. And his story goes like this. So he was a D1 athlete, and then he stopped playing or whatever. And then a few years later, a game came out. The NCAA came out with a game for basketball players, and he was in the game. And then he says, while he was next to some kid playing a game with him, the kid said, "It's crazy how you don't make any money off of this game, but everybody else seems to make money off of it." So Ed O'Brien chose to sue the NCAA. I didn't make a slide on him, but his story is pretty interesting. Tim Tebow, not all players think that players should be paid. Tim Tebow, a former athlete, is against players being paid. He says he thinks that players being paid in college is wrong, and it ruins the authenticity of the game. But I don't think that. I think back then, in his time, that might have been true, but now players need to be paid, because there was this one story where this kid couldn't eat after a game, and he was going to bed hungry while the coaches are making millions off of his name, and he can't make a cent off of it. At one point, he had the #1 selling jersey, which is surprising to me. He said he still wanted to make money off of it. So that was just one example of an NFL player not wanting players to be paid. In conclusion, I just believe that if you it's okay if you don't make money off your name, as long as everybody else don't make money off your name. But once everybody else don't make money, that's kind of a scheme and a scam. And then there's tons of rules that against a player for not making money, and I don't believe that it should be that way, set up in the way it is. And I'm glad that there was a change coming. Thank you.
Alright guys, I should